Hello, my name's Dan Thorpe from GLP Training. I'm here today doing an intro on tiling to get you prepared for your EPA. I'm just going to introduce you to some of the tools of tiling. So basically what we have for this tiling is we have the 150 by 150 white ceramic tiles with 5mm thickness. One of the most important bits as well, obviously before you start to do your tiling, making sure that you have covered up, use plastic dust sheet. Here at GLP Training, obviously we are health and safety conscious, and also we do make sure that we wear our dust mask. Most important thing as well is a level. We use this for making sure that we level up, making sure that our cuts have run into the corners, making sure that when we put our batten up, it is used up and put level as well. What we also have is a tape measure, very important. So this will allow us to measure out our tiles, work out our area, work out our spacings with our calculations. Also what we have here as well is tile spacings. These particular ones are 3mm. We also have some tile spreaders here. So these two tile spreaders are different gauges. So this is a particular one here, and this one's a 3mm one, okay? Also what we have as well is our adhesive. You have various different types of adhesive, but this adhesive is a bottle tick adhesive. So this is for our next stage of tiling. What we're going to be doing next is putting our batten up. What we do here is basically make sure this is perfectly level, then we'll be setting out our tiles. So what we'll have some mathematics in here, but we have to make sure this is perfectly level, and then we set out our next bit. So setting out of the tiles today, what we're going to be doing is basically we've got 150 by 150 tiles. So what we're going to do today is we're going to basically have 4 across, and we're going to be marking out our centre point. So if we have 4 across, a bit of mathematics there, 150 by 150 will be 300 to the centre point. Allowing for 3mm either side would be 306. That would allow for your spacings. And then what we'll do then after that is we'll plumb upright to allow for our tiles. So now just going to plumb upright here for our centre mark. This will allow us to put our 2 tiles either side. So as you can see, dead centre in the middle of the bubble. Centre line all the way down. This will allow for us to run cuts out to the edges. Now what we're going to be doing is spreading some of the adhesive. So what I end up doing is I'll show you inside as well. Get a reasonable bit at a time, and we're going to be covering, well, on this particular one we're going to be doing 4 across, but we're just going to come across and spread a little bit at a time, you see. So we're going across, take the excess off as you go. This way you get some on, and you can use it like that. You can see the grooves are going across. Try not to avoid any contact with the batten, because this will make your levels go out, okay? So as you're going across like that, you can pull a little bit up from there, going across like that, and that will be your spreading. So once we've spread the adhesive, what we've done is we've got a reasonable coverage for our first tile to go all the way along. What we're going to do is we're going to go back to our centre point. So what we measured earlier on was the centre point. So what we'll do just gradually there is we're going to put the tile on, gently tap that in, allowing for this tile spacer, this 3mm tile spacer, to go into the central line there, making sure that it will be allowing for the grout to be in the centre marks. Then what I'll do next is I'm just going to get my second tile and gently put that on again, spacing it up against my next one. At this stage though, what I'm going to be doing is having another spacer, and this will be going in the top. So what we're going to do now is continue to finish off our first row. So we need to add a little bit more adhesive here. Again, remembering to keep this piece of batten clear from excess, and then we'll plonk our next tile on. Again, going to be putting our next tile on using the tile spacings. So again, putting that on there, down at the bottom, and one at the top. And then for our next tile, we'll be finishing off our end run. Again, using the tile spacings and the tile, gently pushing on to make sure you get a nice tight finish on there, allowing for this to get tile spacer to go in the top and a tile spacer to go in the bottom. And that's the completion of our first row. Now we're ready for our second row. So basically I've removed off the excess what we will not be using. And then again, what we're going to be going back to is spreading again. So as you can see, you've got some of the wall spacers facing upright. They will be left in there, pushed in for the grout line. What I'm now going to do is spread for the second tile. Again, just gently going across, covering all the area. Probably best to go up on this one so you don't have any droppages onto your grout. And then I'm going to slowly put another wall tie in across. And this will allow for my next tile to start my next row. If you're unsure how things are running at any point with some tiling, basically what you can do is you can get your level, and you can make sure you go up the edges just to make sure that you're running correct as well. So as you can see on this particular one, I'm looking very good. So that just come over a little tiny bit. Brilliant. Here's we're going to be going all the way across now. So literally gently just place that in, and we're going to be putting another tile spacer across here, you see. This will allow for us to carry on our next line if we need to do. On this particular row today, we're only doing 2 rows. And as I say, gently just keep going across. The tile spacers fell out, make sure you put one back in. This can be a simple task. Just allow gently to put the tile on, allowing for a little bit of pressure so it keys in. Tile spacer again up the top. This will keep our pattern. And then the last tile. And then your last tile spacer will go in across the top. Right, for our next stage, what we'll be doing now is having a clean down before we do the grouting. So what we're going to do is always make sure that you have some nice clean water, a nice clean sponge to wash down. So as you can see, there's a little bit of adhesive on the front there. This is going to be cleaned down. You always want to make sure you clean this down before grouting, because this will be shown in your grout lines. So this is an example of me about to do that. So all I'm doing is I'm just squeezing out the excess from the sponge, making sure it's damp but not obviously soaking wet. And I'm just going to go across the area of where the tiles are, and as you can see, it's gently coming off. Don't press too hard at this stage, as I say, as they've only been put on there. But once you've done the whole area, you are then ready for grouting. Once we've got to this stage now, what we're going to be doing is mixing up the grout. Okay, as we clean down, just going to add a little bit of grout into the tub. That's more than enough. Push that back there. What we'll do then again is another bucket, clean water. We'll just add a little tiny bit in so we can mix that up. What you do now is, with the consistency, you're looking for a lot firmer than what the adhesive would be, but not firm enough so you can still apply it easily enough. I need to add a little bit more in. Until we get to a consistency just about like that. Once you've mixed the grout, what you're going to be doing now is, as I say, you've got the right consistency of the grout, you're now going to be applying it, covering the whole area. As I say, as you're going along, making sure you spread all the way across, filling all the holes up. Don't worry about the excess on top, because this is going to come off afterwards. Make sure you get a decent coverage all the way along. Once this is covered, what you'll do is you'll allow for this to go off for a little. Different grouts will have different time spans. This particular grout on this one is 3 hours for it to go off, you see. So what we're going to do now is apply it, give it a little bit of time for it to go off, so then we can finish it, you see. Any excess can be taken off like that, and that is that. Right, so for our last bit, what we'll be doing now is always make sure you've got some clean water, sponge. Make sure it's not fully wet though, so make sure you've wrung it out a bit, just slightly damp, and then what you'll be doing is covering all the area. So you'll be going across like this, taking all the excess growth off all the way across, and as you can see, you're then filling across the lines and create a nice sealed finish. There we have it. One cleaned out area.